So, you're tired of a bunch of sweaty little 12-year-olds ruining your Bed Wars games. Today, I'm going to show you how to fight back. This is Minecraft PvP. Movement is the most important aspect of PvP, and is one skill that unanimously every good PvPer will ever have, in all game modes or types of PvP. The goal is to ride the edge of your opponent's 3-block reach. Why is this so important? Well, 2 reasons. First, this not only allows you to get the first hit, but it also allows you to maintain combos and apply pressure to your opponent. Get the timing right, and you can lock your opponent in a combo lock, in which they cannot hit you back. This is the essence of the boxing game mode, important to many other game modes of PvP as well. An opponent with perfect aim will have 3 blocks of reach in all directions, but there's always a margin of error. Your goal is to maintain your distance with your opponent within this margin. And the second reason is knockback. The more speed you have, the greater knockback you deal. Dealing knockback is important since it kills your opponent's momentum and pushes them out of reach. Knockback in Minecraft is dealt in 2 directions, away from you and away from the ground. Being higher off the ground means that your opponent's reach is nerfed. Dealing maximum knockback each hit is important to maintaining a combo lock. This means that you have to be doing 2 things, sprinting for maximum speed, and the second is this important concept called sprint resetting. You only deal a great amount of knockback on your first hit on an opponent. Here you can see by hitting the opponent once, I dealt 5 blocks of knockback. However, if I continue to sprint and hit the opponent a second time, it's 2 blocks of knockback on the second hit. Every hit after the first hit deals little to no knockback. You can see here that as I'm hitting the opponent, I'm running into him. This gives the opponent space to hit me back and possibly start his own combo lock. Sprint resetting is the act of resetting this first hit during PvP to ensure that every hit you make deals the same amount of knockback as your first hit. The most effective and common way of sprint resetting is W tapping. You do this by letting go of your forward key, or W in most cases, to reset that first hit. Doing this right not only resets your sprint, but also allows you to move forward in steps. When the timing is done right, you can make sure that your opponent doesn't walk into your reach, or that you don't walk into your opponent's reach. Another popular method of sprint resetting involves right-clicking the sword to block hit. This slows you down and resets your sprint. The second advantage to this is that you take less damage and less knockback if the opponent hits you while you are blocking. This also allows you to not completely stop your movement by letting go of W if you need to catch up if you're noticing that the opponent is getting too far away from you. Aim is the second most important part of PvP. If you recall, I told you that the goal of your movement should be to maintain your distance within your opponent's margin of error. Well, by having better aim and reducing that margin of error, you not only land more hits, but you also make it much more difficult for your opponent to maintain combos on you. One way to practice your aim is to try to track the center of 2 blocks while moving around it left and right and forward and backward. Once you're good at that, you can use fence posts for an even greater challenge. CPS, or clicks per second, is a topic that's talked about a lot in Minecraft PvP. The advantage of having high CPS is that you have a greater chance of hitting your opponent first. It slows your movement speed when you hit your opponent, which helps you maintain that 3-block distance, and it's generally agreed that there are diminished returns after 12 CPS. Although butterfly clickers who can get up to 25 CPS are known to take much less knockback. This is probably a result of the Minecraft PvP mechanics, but this is not known for sure. The most important utility you can have other than your sword is a fishing rod. This is used in game modes such as Build UHC and Classic. The fishing rod deals knockback the same way your sword does. However, the fishing rod can reach much longer. Rod your opponent like this to deal knockback, and timing it right will allow you to hit your opponent right after. This is why you'll see high elo build UHC players in a stalemate long before they begin to strike each other. This is because they're waiting for the first person to miss their rod, which gives them an opportunity to get the first hit. Lava buckets and water buckets are also provided in some game modes. Using these effectively can give you an edge even if you are worse at PvP. The goal is to use up your opponent's water buckets, which allows you to use your lava bucket to slowly deal the damage over time. You can also use blocks to stop your opponent as they're running, killing their momentum. You can also block their movement or block their sight with blocks, and this is something that takes practice.